1986's
All right.
Deadtime Stories, directed by Jeffrey Delman, written by Jeffrey Delman, J. Edward Kiernan, and Charles F. Shelton. All of these men basically only worked on this movie, aside from Jeffrey Delman, who has one of the weirdest list of credits you'll ever come across, including a trauma sex comedy called Stuck on You, a Tony Todd movie called Voodoo Dawn that came out in 1990, and an episode of Dexter's Lab. So it's like a wide swath of things. The summary for this movie is a babysitting uncle tells his charges 3 horror stories about a killer witch, Little Red Riding Hood, and a werewolf, and Goldilocks and the 3 Bears.
Yeah, so he's babysitting his nephew, who has trouble sleeping, convinces his uncle to tell him a story, and
his uncle
what?
tells him inappropriate stuff.
Well, another little funny thing is they say he's trying to watch the Miss Nude pageant.
Yeah, he just wants to drink his beer.
He just wants to see some tits.
Yeah,
they got this kid saying he can't sleep. Tell me a story. So that's basically.
That's what I got from the whole thing. I was like, this is just a drunk uncle who wants to watch boobs, and he's irritated by this kid. So if you take that into all the stories, it really leads to a good narrative for what's happening.
Does it?
I think it does, because if you look at how shitty the first story especially is short and cut up. It's really short. There's a lot of pieces missing. It seems like he's just go to fucking bed. There's tits on the
he
TV.
wants to get to. Well, yeah. So this first story, what? Now this is the 3 stories based on fairy tales.
Yeah.
What's the first? Is it Hansel and Gretel, or what is it?
I don't know.
It just says 2 witches.
Yeah, it was some witch one. I
So
don't
the
know
first
exactly what
story is 2 witches are trying to do a spell to bring back their dead sister.
Yeah, I think that I read that this story was supposed to be an entire full-length movie. Was this segment, but I don't know how they could have fucking done it.
The first story was the worst of the 3. It wasn't horrible, but it wasn't.
Well, before that even starts, what did you
my
think
least
about the?
favorite.
What do you think about the lengthy stop-motion animation page turning?
That was excessive. It's an excessive intro.
I enjoyed it,
but it's 3 short movies, so a lot of credits.
Yeah.
The credits at the beginning, I don't know, what is it, 5 minutes long probably?
Yeah, but again, you had 3 separate things that a whole crew of people worked on.
You could have put that at the end.
Good.
Right from the get-go, I'm ready to hit the fast-forward button just to get through the credits.
But in that first segment where it's it's the 2 witches trying to reincarnate that 3rd witch. Mm-hmm. One of the best things that happens is the main character, the kid or whatever, Scott Valentine's the actor's name.
What else has he been in? I'm looking right now.
He was
dude with the earring. There it is. There's whatever.
He was
it is
in what's that fucking Michael J. Fox TV show?
Family Ties. Yeah. There it is.
Yeah.
He's from Family Ties.
So what's the best part?
He throws a fucking knife right into that witch's head.
That's not what I thought you were going to say the best part.
The loose bowl of eyeballs that was just... he starts throwing them at him.
The witch's titties you get to see.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's true. I guess so. Yeah. Yeah, because they're like... the priest is there, and they're like... they've mind controlling him or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think the first one was bad. It was the movie as a whole. I think I'd have enjoyed more if I'd have watched it when I was younger in the 80s. I don't think anything was terrible. The first one was just kind of all right.
There was one terrible point where the girl who this Scott Valentine guys helped capture hits that witch on the head with the fucking shovel. Did anyone else rewind it back to watch it again? Because it was so she falls down and then there comes the fucking shovel right after.
I think I remember what you're talking about. This it had some cool effects.
Yeah.
The witch forming and coming to life was pretty.
But then what happened after when it was fully formed? Huh? When it was fully formed, then what happened? Because
then he rips out her heart.
And then it becomes a face hugger from Alien.
Yeah. I didn't expect it to jump on his face. Yeah.
And then it's over with. That's it.
I did like one thing that did make me laugh is the end of the first one. They're sacrificing the girl. The witches have Scott Valentine.
Yeah.
They have him kill people and do stuff so they can cast a spell to bring their sister back to life. And the last thing they got to do is he tricks this girl in so they can kidnap her, and they're going to use her as a sacrifice to bring the sister back. And the story ends with him turning on the witches, saving the girl. They fight the last sister, and then it ends in a big happily ever after kiss.
Boy gets the girl.
Yes, boy gets the girl. And then it cuts back to the uncle and the boy.
Yeah.
And the boy is like, the one part of this that really made me laugh was the boy is like, that's stupid mushy ending. I don't like that. And he's like, oh, well then the sister witch gets back up, and it cuts back to the movie for 1 second, and it's just her strangling the two.
Yeah, but it looks really bad.
Yeah, really bad. And then it cuts back to the uncle, and he's going like, "Rah!" And he's like, okay, and then they all die. That part made me laugh. So, but yeah, of the three shorts, this one wasn't bad. The whole movie in
it is. I mean, and it is also. It's a horror comedy. It's
the whole movie
goofy.
is as generic 80s horror as I think you can get.
And the 80s music, you get all the 80s.
Yes, it is.
In it.
That's what I said. I think I would like this movie a lot more today if I would have watched it in the late 80s when I was younger, because it is everything about it is the classic 80s horror movie feel. This first one is just, it didn't have anything other than that. I realized as I was watching it, I liked the first one only because of the vintage 80s feel. That's all I had.
But the next segment is the Red Riding Hood segment. And I think one of the weirdest things about it is that, okay, you got to take it from the perspective of this drunken, irritated uncle who's telling these stories. Why is he telling that fantasy sequence at the beginning? Like, is he telling this to a kid like the girl is in her room and she's rubbing her stomach?
Yeah, what a great way to start a story. To have this teenage girl
He even says,
daydreaming.
okay, this is the story of Little Red Riding Hood. She's a cheerleader with a tight body and taut breasts.
She's daydreaming.
Those are his
daydreaming in
words.
front of a full-length mirror. But here's something like, you're gonna show me old witch's titties and not show me the young, firm teenage breasts. Like, you show me that, but you won't show me this. But anyway, so the Red Riding Hood is what this story is, and it's kind of funny the way they have the grandma and the wolf mixing up their medications. And then that's how they meet. The werewolf goes to grandma's house to try to get his medication, and he has hers as well. And that's where this kind of all happens.
And this whole time that the wolf is at the grandmother's house, basically she would have called the police. He's there for fucking ever outside.
Knocks on the door
mic,
like
Frank.
several times.
And anyways, you fucking threw me off. I had a thought, and then you addressed me not talking into the mic. I know.
We're not going to hear any of it.
You can hear it a little bit. I mean, it's not enough to address it, but I'm addressing that. Jesus Christ, Jared. Anyways, it's funny to me how desperate the boyfriend is to fuck this girl, that he's willing to, like, not only take her to an abandoned shed, but to blow up an air mattress.
Oh
with
yeah,
his
Red
mouth.
Riding Hood's boyfriend.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's a teenage boy. Think about some stuff you've done, Frank.
Oh yeah, but
Think about a hot trailer over in, was it a forest?
Exactly. But also,
You want
I
to
would not blow an
expand
air
upon that?
mattress. I wouldn't. Well, no, there's no need to do that.
Yeah, there's no need.
Everybody does stupid shit when they're a teenager, but I would not blow up an air mattress with my mouth for anyone.
Yeah, no.
Also,
what does that
it's
take? An hour?
Yeah, that wasn't an air mattress though. That was like a pool raft. It
Yeah.
looked like
A floaty, yeah.
But he had candles and shit, so that was kind of nice. Shit, but I thought it was strange that when they got their medicine mixed up, she was just getting like Malox or something like that. You can buy that on the shelf.
I don't even know what that is.
It's just fucking for stomach problems.
Oh. And his was medicine to knock him out,
like some
so
opiate.
Yeah, because
he
he's a
didn't kill
werewolf.
people
Yeah.
when he changed.
Yeah, this one's storyline. I even put the little note up. I don't know if you guys seen it. I swear this little story got made by someone being like, let's do Little Red Riding Hood as a adult horror story, and the producer was like, how you gonna spice it up? And the guy was like, let's make The Wolf a werewolf. And he was like, not quite enough. And he was like, let's put him in leather pants. And the guy's like,
we got a movie.
we got ourselves a movie.
But the thing that's funny about like the dude standing outside of this grandma's house and like basically almost assaulting her or whatever, all he had to do from Jump Street is say, ma'am, I'm a diabetic. I need that medicine.
Yeah, just show her the pills.
She's got, yeah.
These are your pills,
yeah,
or your drink, whatever. And take a look at that. You have mine.
Thank God.
Yeah, a lot of plot holes.
Thank God for that. You know, like every grandma has a silver cake server. Thank God for that, because how would they have wrapped this one up? This is a great story, though. Those leather pants set it off, man.
It is what it is.
Yeah, I liked it, but there's nothing really great to say about it. It's a decent looking old school werewolf in leather pants.
The leather pants are fucking dynamite.
I mean, it hits on your typical 80s teenagers trying to have sex. A couple people get killed by a werewolf, and grandma turns into a werewolf at the end because she survives.
Yep.
Did you see the when you saw the dude in the leather pants, were you like, leather pants werewolf?
Yes. Yeah, I seen the dude go into the drugstore and said, there's a werewolf.
Yeah, you can tell by the
There's a werewolf. You can tell by the leather pants.
At this point in the movie, I'm like, this Uncle Mike character is probably one of the worst uncles ever, because he's real irritated at this point.
Or best. I mean,
best.
can you imagine?
I
mean, he's already told him 2 stories.
Well, yeah, but
he's got Miss Nude pageant and beer out in the living room. I mean, it's not even like it's his kid; it's his nephew. So I mean, I love my nephews, but 2 stories, that's it. Go to bed.
But he really nails it out of the park with this third story. This is my favorite one. This was the best.
Yeah, this is the one that I think makes the movie worth watching.
Goldilocks and the 3 Bears.
Goldilocks and the 3 Bears.
The whole from the beginning where it's like this very trauma. This whole segment was like a trauma movie.
Yeah, purposely bad acted. Yeah. Lots of references to horror movies.
Yeah, the sign for the mentally whatever it was, the hopelessly insane home.
Yeah, let's be clear. The 3 Bears are 3 lunatics.
Yeah,
2 was in a mental facility.
Yeah, they broke him out.
Yeah.
The dad and the son. Yep. Mom comes and
breaks him out.
Takes them back to their house in Amityville, which is another.
And Goldilocks is a psycho killer squatting at the house.
She has psychic powers.
Yes. Telekinetic.
It was telekinetic, kind of in a. They mixed Carrie and I forgot the other one. That.
I don't know, but you get to see her boobies. Don't you, Frank?
Don't
you, Frank? You get to see her boobies.
Oh yeah, you do. That was great. That was good. Good job. Good work. Good work. Not that that's something you should hang a hat on, but you can fucking hang a hat on those titties.
But yeah.
This segment. But before we get too deep into it, I knew from the beginning of it I was gonna love it because it looks like a trauma movie. The sign for that hospital was in marker. They fucking kill Rondell Sheridan. Did you recognize him? That guard. He's a comedian from like the 80s. And he was like the dad in That's So Raven.
Yeah.
They just fucking kill his ass, and that was a good piece of fucking business there as far as I was concerned.
If you like trauma movies,
you had to read that, right? Like you didn't recognize him from.
No, I
recognized the Raven show.
I didn't know what show he was on, but I knew it was something.
I recognized him from stand up, but then whenever I looked at his IMDb, and I'm like, oh fuck, he was the dad on that because I've seen it in passing, you know.
Oh, okay. All right.
But yeah, if you like trauma movies, this is everything great about a trauma movie, and none of it is badly done. It's all everything good.
Mother's Day, a lot like Mother's Day.
Yeah, only
Okay, you're just saying if you like trauma movies. This ain't a trauma movie.
Yeah, no, it's not. But if you like trauma movies, everything great about it, it is done perfectly in this little segment.
The last segment of it is like it's like the golden nugget of the whole thing. It's like if you took Benny Hill and John Waters, mixed it up in a trauma movie. It's good. I love this. What did you think about the segment, Jason?
This segment?
Yeah,
it was the best one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really funny. It's purposely overacted and badly acted, but not too far. done just the right amount. There's just an insane amount of horror references in it.
Yeah.
Just I mean, it's pretty much an Easter egg basket. So yeah, it was my favorite.
And this was released on Blu-ray from Scream Factory just this last year.
Come on, pick it up, guys. I did think it was a weird decision that they made that kid get eaten by a claymation monster at the end. I was like, that was unnecessary.
Yeah, we're off of Goldilocks and the Three Bears. After that one ends, you cut back to Uncle Mike and the kid, and he's like, okay, we're done. He goes downstairs, and one of the toys comes to life. It's how they conclude the overarching story. Yeah. The overarching story in this is really just, it's there just to tie the three together. There's nothing great about it at all. There's some funny parts in Uncle Mike, but
yeah,
it's...
But what'd you give it, Jared?
I gave this one a 6, a really solid 6. I think if you really like 80s horror and just the
anthologies,
feel of it,
if you like anthology movies, this is definitely worth watching. I gave it a 6 too.
Yeah, if I would say if you don't necessarily care or big on 80s, there might not be a whole lot here, but if you love the 80s horror movies, you won't be upset with this one. Might not be your favorite, but
what'd you give it?
I gave it an 8. I think it's amazing if you consider that all of these stories are being told by an irritated drunk uncle who just wants to look at tits and drink beer. I think it's that if you have that, if that tone wasn't there, I would enjoy the last segment on its own. But good movie, guys.